The function of a performing philosopher is not to try to sell you on any brand name of philosophy. I have no dogma. I have no favorite cause here. I have one cause, and that's the goal of a performing philosopher, is to encourage you and inspire you and empower you, to the extent I can, to think for yourself and question authority.
Family, the only people I got love for, but half my fam seeing trouble from the drug war. Pain, that's what the drug's for. Hood politic and president is what I run for. Cold roads, ice picks at the front door. You think you run these streets, brother, we run more. Track stars, trap stars, third eye open, abusing drugs, bumping Black Star. We all characters, but
okay.
I'm seeing multiples.
I'll take it.
We live. Took a little bit. We're gonna have to get her out of here quickly.
That's cool.
So we got Nika in the house. How do you spell your last name? How do you say your last name again? Say it for everybody.
It's pronounced Sedghi.
Nika Sedghi.
Yes.
We got Benny in here. We live.
What's up? What's good?
What's good? I'm Eric. So Nika, let me tell you what we're doing here. Okay. So I thought that we should get a bunch of health and wellness people who are influencing the culture, and move this culture forward. So just give you a platform, give everybody a platform to share their story, their experience, and what they think is important about what we do here, and what what we do here as practitioners and influencers. I would consider you an influencer. Maybe you don't know that, but I know that.
No, I appreciate that. My goal is to definitely extend my reach and help as many people that are struggling, like I said, with weight loss or fitness or anything like that. So I appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, I think the reason I think of you often is because I was a fatty. I was a fatty. Fat fuck. It wasn't a good look, 300 pounds, and had stretch marks all over my body. I still do. Gang.
Me too.
And I'm
pretty sure I got mine too.
Yeah, I was an athlete. I went from being an athlete in high school and eating like an athlete and being able to do whatever, and then not being an athlete and continuing to eat like an athlete and not knowing anything. Because when you're young, there's no especially in the mid 2000s, we didn't give a fuck about nutrition. It just wasn't a thing. At least where I'm from, you just ate, you played your sport, and you ate. And so I got fat after not playing sports anymore. Then I got skinny again, and then I did the fitness thing and blah 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 blah. Now I'm doing what I do. But I want you to share your experience on were you an athlete growing up? Let's just get right into it.
Yeah, so when I was probably, I think 7 years old, after my parents got divorced, I started doing Taekwondo. So I got my black belt as a kid. That was fun. And then after that, when I got into high school, my parents were like, you should play a team sport, make some friends. And I was like, that sounds silly. I love piano, I love karate. And anyway, I got talked into water polo. So my stepdad's daughter, so my step siblings, used to play, and he's like, you should give it a shot. And so I hopped in the pool, I started swimming, and there were 3 teams that were being, I guess, picked that year. It was a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team. And when I hopped in, little did I know, making that JV team instead of the freshman team would have just sparked this light underneath my whatever to just be so passionate about it, and that turned into my life. So it was swimming, water polo in high school, and then in college I played D1 water polo, and then after that, you get so used to, as you were saying, practicing, being an athlete, going through those motions, that after college I was like, I need something to fill that void. What am I going to do? What am I going to be competitive in? And since I was thinking about getting into triathlons, I do nothing in my life in moderation. So I went out too hard, too fast, ran way too many miles, got impending stress fractures, both my tibias, and I looked at that sport and I was like, okay, so this is not for me. Bodybuilding came up, and that's been the competitive sport since.
Okay, so being a college athlete, how does that help you apply? How does that work ethic apply to bodybuilding? Because everybody knows it, and you people listening, I've seen her in the gym. She works harder than women tend to work harder than men in the gym. I think we can all.
I appreciate that.
We don't really have to work as hard. It's impressive when we do, but women, you're fighting biology, right?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so
you're not wrong.
But I think we all know your work ethic we all know about it. So how do you think that transitioned over from being a college athlete and then going right to bodybuilding?
I think it transitioned really well. If there's one thing anyone knows about college sports, I know they say it's 20 hours a week, but in reality it's so much more than that. You're watching film, you're not only accountable for yourself, you're accountable for the rest of your team. So I remember, like, if we showed up at our 6 a.m. weights late, we were all doing plate pushes. If one person, not yourself, wore the wrong color shirt, we were all doing plate pushes. It was a total commitment sport, as with most others as well, but bodybuilding, the main difference is it's 24/7. The food element is 24/7. You don't get to just ring up those cleats. You don't get to just take off the swimsuit and be done with it. No, you are still tracking your macros. You are not allowed to enjoy this event, that event, unless you are taking your black container and eating out of a container, which we have done for years for sure now. But yeah, D1 water polo for sure rolled really nicely into it because I understood what level of commitment that took, and bodybuilding definitely took that and escalated it.
So, how long have you been bodybuilding? How many years has it been? It's only been a couple.
Yeah, it's only been a couple.
Nice.
We're still a rookie in this.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm young in the game. Yeah, I was super into it for a long time. Not a long time, but a couple years, and I burnt myself out, man. I burnt myself out and worked real hard, and I think I did it for all the wrong reasons. Like I did it for, I didn't have a good self-esteem, so I was like, here, let me lift weights and let me get muscles, and I'm gonna feel good about myself.
Right.
And self-esteem is built on like esteemable acts, right? It's not built on like outside stuff. So it's
I learned that one too. I think everyone does. Everyone thinks that if they lose this weight or if they look a certain way, they're gonna feel better. And yeah, for like a hot second taking that photo, you feel good. But do you actually feel good being that lean or ripped? No.
And are you enjoying life?
And then, are you enjoying life? I'm really learning that now. I'm in my off season now. I am, God knows, probably easily between 20 and 30 pounds over my stage weight right now. So in terms of bodybuilding, God, I'm like obese. But to be honest, we're looking back. Yeah, I got my body fat tested, and I'm 20% body fat right now. And
that probably stresses you out.
It does, because
it's nuts.
In our terms, if you're, I think, over 15%, it's like, oh wow, she's really let things go, and it's like, it's not. I'm coming to terms with it. I really am. I'm lifing, and I'm able to travel. I'm able to go days where I'm not counting every single almond or lick a peanut butter or something like that. Yeah. So I'm taking all that into account, and I'm trying to find a good balance. So that's one thing that bodybuilding is notorious for creating, this big self-image issue, I'd say.
Body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
It does do that. It does do that, and I resented it. You've heard me talk shit about it.
Yeah.
I resented the fuck out of it, and I participated in it, and I didn't like that I participated in it. But now I'm back around the corner. I like it again. I respect it again. But the way I'm doing it now is different. I just lift because I like it. I don't count reps or anything. I haven't weighed food out in like 2 years. I don't really give a fuck. I'm still gonna look okay. And that's the thing. You'll realize. I'm sure a lot of people realize. You don't have to put that much effort into it at a certain point. And I don't get on stage.
Okay, but let's stop right there. At a certain point.
At a certain point.
That's something we have to really emphasize.
We're going to get into that.
I was going to say, because same thing. After you've been counting for, I would say, if you go 90 days measuring and weighing your food and stuff, you have an idea of what 120 grams, 150 grams of protein looks like. Exactly. So giving that advice to someone that hasn't already gone through that roller coaster.
I don't do that. So with my clients, what I do is I say, here, I want you for 3 months, 90 days. I want you for 3 months, weigh your food out. Yeah. Understand what a cup of rice is.
Serving size is?
What a cup of rice is.
Foreign concept.
At this point, like you and myself, and when you're doing this, you know that a cup of rice is around 40 to 50 grams of carbs.
Yep.
You should know that. People should know what that is. A couple 4 ounces of sweet potatoes, about 24 grams of carbs. You should know that off the top of your head. Yep. And once you start doing that and understanding what portions are for you, and what you need, what your caloric intake should be, then you get more flexible. Then you can move about the world freely and understand, I'm going to eat a little less of this and a little more of that.
Yeah.
And you can manage it on your own. But let's get into what you do and what you post, because that's what I love and what a lot of people love.
Yeah.
The real big reason I have you on here, every day Nika posts nutrition shit all day, and I have a nutrition background. I've been doing that for some years, and I look to her for new information. So that's I'm no guru, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and she knows her shit. So where does that come from? What's that about? Tell the world about that.
All right, so I'm known for the Neek's approved reviews, and during the weekdays I pick a random food item, something you'd find at a grocery store, whatever. I take any item, and I will first post the product, ask you if it's approved, yes or no. And then secondly, I'll go into the macronutrients and kind of break down what those macronutrients are. But there's 3 numbers on there. There's protein, carbs, fat that I highlight. And I think a lot of people look at those numbers sometimes, but they have no actual value of what that is in terms of what they need, what they don't want. I mean, just no idea if something's high protein, low protein, high fat, high sugar, all of that. They have no idea what these numbers are. They're arbitrary. So then I just do one little conversion that puts it in perspective. Egg whites, usually, bread, rice, or and then like oil or sticks of butter, tablespoons of butter, peanut butter, stuff like that, stuff that you do know. So as an engineer, I hate being told what to do. So I'd rather just provide information on a platter and then have you decide. The second thing I do after that is I go into the ingredients and I highlight kind of what are preservatives, what are not, educate you on a hydrogenated oil, this and that. Kind of, again, just putting all the information out there, be like, just letting you know, this is all the stuff that's in that favorite childhood Lunchable or something like that. And then at the very end, I hope someone just walks away just being like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have that because it's like 3 tablespoons of butter and 4 cups of rice and 2 egg whites. In terms of like health, do I want 2 egg whites? And usually 9 times out of 10 you will make logistically the right decision. But again, I didn't tell you what to do. I didn't tell you don't eat white bread, don't eat this, it's got too much sugar. P.S. disclaimer, nothing wrong with white bread if you time it properly and all of that. I could go into, there's no forbidden item.
There's no forbidden item.
Nope, I write that in my book.
We're going to get into that. Let's not creep there yet.
Okay.
But I definitely, what I get really frustrated with is that, the diet culture. And you're not a proponent of this. You're not propagating this, culture. But there's a lot of that where it's like, these are bad foods, and these are not bad. These are okay. These are really okay. Brown rice. And I was in this paradigm where it had to be this protein, these carbs, and this fat. And that's where I lived for a long time. But really, there's the leanest I've ever been. I was flexible dieting, and I was eating Carl's Jr. at certain points. It wasn't the healthiest I've ever been, but I remember my carbs were 1,000 grams of carbs, and I was eating a cinnamon bun, and I was shredded.
Oh my God.
And I was shredded. I was eating cinnamon buns because I needed 1,000 grams, and a cinnamon bun is 150 carbs, and I needed it.
If I needed 1,000 grams, I don't think I could do it clean. There's no way you can house that.
I did most of it clean, and I haven't eaten sweet potatoes in 3 years because of it. Because I would boil sweet potatoes and mash them up, and then get a huge Tupperware, and I'd eat I started eating at 3:30 in the morning, and I'd eat until I went to bed at night.
What does 1,000 grams of carbs look like? Because I don't. You're talking to the person who you wrote this book for.
A bagel is 50. A bagel's 50, and one cup of rice is like 45 grams of carbs.
So put that into perspective. Like how many? So that's like 50.
10 cups of rice is only 500 grams of carbs.
Oh my God.
So that's only halfway there.
Yeah.
That's like for 40 people.
Yes, and so I was. Do you know what else I was doing? What else I was doing was I was drinking this supplement called Carbolin, which one scoop is 50 grams. So in the morning, here's my breakfast. 2 cups of oatmeal. I would drink a carton of egg.
Cooked or dry?
I don't remember if I measured it.
Wait, people eat dry oatmeal?
No, I mean like the way you measure it. So half a cup is about 27 grams of
I always measure my food. I've always measured my oatmeal dry.
Correct. Okay, so when you say 2 cups, you're saying 2 cups of dry, which probably came out to be 4 cups.
It was a lot. So and the hack that I learned later was I powdered my oatmeal.
Yep, I buy it powdered actually.
Yeah, I would just blend it in NutriBullet and then take a cup scoop and put it in a protein powder. Put it in like protein powder and put a carton of egg whites in there, blend it up and then drink.
You always did the egg whites. That's
do that because if I'm gonna eat 1,000 grams of carbs, I would drink all my protein because I just couldn't And even with the egg whites, drinking them, that was only I was still getting 5,000 calories. But that's how I grew, because I was 165 pounds when I started training. So I had to eat like that in order to grow. Anyway, the reason we're talking about that is because I don't like the idea that certain foods are bad foods and certain foods are not allowed, or these are good. And I feel like that catches people, that puts people in a place where they don't want to change what they eat, because they're like, I can't eat anything.
I'll agree. Coming from a place of emotional eating, and like I said, so my story, I was 184 pounds. I dieted down to be 140 for my stage weight. I personally think I feel and look the best at around 155, 160, and right now I'm probably at around 172, just to put all that in perspective. But why I'm saying that is I'm a fat girl at heart always, so anytime you restrict me, I just want that even more. So when you diet down for a show, I don't know if people know this, but I mean, sometimes you go 4, 6, 8 weeks without a cheat meal. And when coach gives you the green light, you've been restricted for so long.
You go crazy.
You go crazy to the point of literally just your stomach hurts, everything hurts. You regret everything real fast.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner for me.
I mean,
curled up in a ball in pain.
Unfortunately, that's what Thanksgiving has turned into. But when you think about it, it's literally just one meal that you're going to share with family.
Can I say this out loud?
Dude.
I did white Thanksgiving, and black Thanksgiving and white Thanksgiving are different. Not bad. No, they're just different.
Get into it.
Okay,
get into it. I want to know.
So
I heard a little bit of it, but I want to know.
Mac and cheese is a staple in black Thanksgiving, right?
Okay.
So in white Thanksgiving,
I don't think I've ever seen mac and cheese on my table.
Okay, so yeah, for us, I posted a meme online that said, you need 5 to 7 years of work experience and 3 references to make Thanksgiving mac and cheese. So that's how black Thanksgiving is the mac and cheese is fire. It's fire.
Is it better than the turkey?
What makes it fire? What, like the 4 sticks of butter and the extra cheese?
All of it. Yeah.
Is it like baked?
It's baked. Okay. It's baked. Okay, so white Thanksgiving this year, the mac and cheese was made with almond milk.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I wouldn't disrespect mac and cheese like that.
But it was good. There's one is not worse than the other. They're just different.
No, the almond milk one is definitely fucking worse than the other. Dude. Don't let me say
it. I don't think it could be as creamy without real.
It wasn't it.
It probably uses half and half.
Yeah, no, honestly, no. My family, I really come from. They're not terrible, Yeah, they're not terrible with it. The mac and the mac and cheese is really not that bad. It's just cheddar cheese, heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
No, I think it's the canned
condensed milk.
I use heavy whipping cream in my mac and cheese.
Condensed milk and cheese.
At the end of the day, are we using Kraft? Are we using that?
No, God, no.
Okay, so
it's real cheese. It's real.
All right. Here, let me explain to you how mac and cheese is made. You start off with the roux, which is like the base of a sauce.
Okay.
So you melt butter and then you add flour into it.
Yep.
And it thickens up, and then you add your heavy whipping cream, and it turns into like a looser, waterier gravy. That's a really bad description of it, but it turns into like a gravy, right? And that's your base. And then you add your cheese into there, and it becomes a cheese sauce. You take your pasta, you dump that gooey deliciousness in, and then you can either do another layer of cheese on top of that, or you can put like panko or breadcrumbs. Take the food processor, throw it in there, breadcrumbs, boom. And then if you want, you can melt some butter and drizzle it all over those breadcrumbs so it'll be extra golden and crispy and super good.
He's a chef.
I'm a chef. That's it. Yeah, I'm a chef. So, and then you leave it in there about an hour. No, not even about it. Yeah, like 45 minutes to an hour at like 400 degrees. And then when you pull it out,
it is fire. So that's so Black Thanksgiving. The Black Thanksgiving, the mac and cheese is lit as fuck.
Okay.
And White Thanksgiving, the mac and cheese is subpar. Another thing.
If it's on the table, even.
If it's even on the table, if it's even there.
Was it on the table for you this year?
It was. It was
unfortunate. Just almond milk.
So I ate it.
Yeah, of course I did.
But the good thing about White Thanksgiving is I don't gain any weight. I don't get fatter.
Because the food isn't that good?
Because the food isn't that good.
So here's my thing. I've never, ever enjoyed really gluttonous foods. I've just always liked too much good food.
Yeah.
Why is 1 serving not enough of cottage cheese? I don't know. 4 is just better.
Oh, yeah. What do you think let's talk about that. Let's get back. Thanks for the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, it was a good
So what do you think? I have my theory on what emotional eating is for me. I want to hear what it is for you.
So for me, it's always been when I'm anxious, when I am out of control of something. So in terms of engineering in school, when I had a test coming up, I was stressed. There was a travel roster coming out for water polo, didn't know if I was going to be on it. I would just eat. Like, it's not something, or like when I was bored, I would eat. So all of that, and it would turn into, I don't want to call it binge eating, because I've heard of some really ridiculous stories where people are like eating like multiple pizzas, big gallons of ice cream. Okay, I've never done that. I write in my book, and I know we'll get to that, one of my eating experiences. And after I did it, I like logged it, and in about like 2 hours, I had like 2,000 calories. So like, my definition of a binge would be that. But emotional eating, like I said, it's just going to food for comfort. Period. Whether there's a million different like food cues that could come up that could, trigger that. But for me, it's always been being anxious or being out of control. Not being able to figure something out has always been my thing. So I really wanted to reverse engineer that. And the only way I could do that is to not feel restricted. Not tell yourself you can't have something. Even if we're talking about that brilliant mac and cheese. If you were to stay consistently on whatever your plan is that's taking you towards your goals, and one day you decided to have your mac and cheese, this and that, even you went over your calorie expenditure by 1,000 calories and you got right back on plan, literally nothing would change. Like, yeah, you'd hold some water, there might be a lot of sodium in it, so this and that, but at the end of the day, it's what you do most that matters, and I'm trying to get people to get that.
I tell people 85-15. Like, what has worked for me Monday through Friday, I'm pretty on point.
Yep.
I intermittent fast. I eat a predominantly higher fat diet. That means there's still carbs in my diet, but predominantly high fat, clean sources. Friday, because Friday's family time. Every Friday night, I get ice cream with the kids. That starts it off.
Lifing,
and then I get a burrito, and I eat like a monster on the weekends, and then I'm back on by Sunday. I'm like tapering off. And then Monday back on it. Yeah. And unless you're in a surplus every day, you're gonna.
But I'm gonna add something real quick. So you've been doing this long enough, and we're gonna keep saying that again. You know what works for your body.
Yeah.
You know what you can get away with. So for anyone that's watching this, if they think they can eat clean Monday through Friday and then just blow it on the weekends consistently, no, it's not gonna work like that unless you prove me wrong. As if you live it for weeks at a time and you're still losing weight. Okay. Nika, you be quiet. Got it. I will be quiet.
Well, it's in one day. Let's say they don't do it. If they only do it on Saturday. If they go.
But one whole day of eating whatever they want.
If you gave me one whole day.
Yeah. Do you know how much caloric damage I can do?
I'm eating a whole Little Caesars pizza to myself.
Then we have to really address another behavior.
But I was just gonna say the only reason why you would actually probably do that is if you really thought that the next week or that the next Saturday that you couldn't do it. You knew you were about to go 7 days without that pizza. So the reason why he can successfully do that is every single weekend you're going to have that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And you now know what you can get away with and what you can't. So you have just enough to where you're full probably or whatever. And then maybe if you have a big meal like that, you're probably not going to eat for a while again. Like, these are the things that you're not voicing.
Yeah, I don't go crazy.
You don't go crazy anymore.
Well, as a coach, what I'll say is if someone has a blowout like that and they put all the weight they lost that week back on, first of all, it's going to be a lot of water. So we always warn them. You might have put on 3 more pounds. But it's a ton of water, so it'll come up in a few days. But also, if they do something like that, where they pig out the whole week, or the whole weekend, or a big Saturday, create space. What I do is I say create space for that. Let's respect that happened, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So don't judge it. Don't judge it, because then that perpetuates more that anything any emotional situation, like when you have a fight with your partner, or at least for me, when I have a fight with my partner, or when I get frustrated, or I have an anxiety issue, or something like that, I create space for it, right? Mm-hmm. So you just respect that happened, right? So I tell them, respect that happened. Now let's explore why you felt the need to eat that way, and then let's address the real thing.
Yep.
Let's address the hole you're feeling, and then let's talk about that. How do we prevent that in the future? Let's add something else in there. Let's talk about other things you could be doing.
Figure out what the cue is and execute.
Exactly.
So I got a question for you then, Eric. So somebody like me who got sober a year ago, and while I was in my addiction though, I I don't know. I think I told you I put on like 50 or 60 pounds. So now that I'm sober and I don't have anything except for like, I'll vape, right? But to me, then I eat to get like full. Not just
you're
like
looking at the girl that eats to get full.
So but when I'm that satisfied, it feels really good, and I won't stop that cycle. So talking to me,
I'll tell you. So tell me what the recovery answer.
I want both. I want
the recovery answer.
Yeah,
and this is from someone who I have tried to solve my problems with every external stimulus that you can, whether it be money or women or clothes or work or whatever. Food is another one. Yep. So for me and my recovery situation, they talk the same hole in my body that I fill with drugs and alcohol, I am now filling with food.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So for me, it's that powerlessness over, you have to apply that, I have to apply that powerlessness to all of my shit, whether it's sex or whatever, the things that I've just named. And the spiritual solution that I have to partake in, meditation and all the shit, that stuff is what works for me. When I'm centered in consciousness, and I'll call it God consciousness because I don't care, God is fine, right? It's not a religious God, it's just God. So in that God consciousness for me, when I'm centered in a spiritual place, when I'm meditating and practicing and helping other people and being positive, I notice that I don't eat like that. But when I'm selfish, when I'm fear of not getting what I want, or fear of losing what I have, I eat like shit. When I'm in a space where I'm like thinking about what the fuck is going on with Eric, if Eric wants this, Eric wants that, then I'm eating like dog shit. Or with my kids, the big reason I eat like shit with my kids is because I'm stressed out with them. So instead of calming myself down and taking space and communicating with my partner, hey, they're fucking driving me crazy, or they're driving her crazy and she's her stress is making me feel some sort of way, then I eat because I'm bored, or we'll be in the house because I'm bored. But
definitely relate.
But what I would suggest is filling that hole with some other behavior, whether it's a mantra, because otherwise, if you don't fill it with something else, you're never going to end the cycle. It's the same thing when you're drinking. You're never going to end the cycle.
Habit, yeah. If you've read The Power of Habit, it's a really good book. It tells you that you cannot eliminate habit. You can simply replace what you do after you identify the cue. Now, identifying the cue is the first part of it. So, for me, if I knew that, when I spoke to my dad or mom or something like that, whatever people struggle with, created that anxiety, then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this instead. And like you said, if it was meditating, I'm still really working on that myself. So taking that time to just sit. It's 5 minutes, but getting yourself to do it is super, super hard. But at the same time, you could also do other things with food that are less calorically detrimental to your overall goal, that will still give you that full feeling. So every once in a while, like I said, I just get that craving of God, I just want my entire stomach to be so full, right? God, I miss that feeling.
Yeah.
Growing up, my dad, for some perspective, he's 6'3", probably 250 to 270 is where he ranges. So growing up, like I said, I was a little kid, and he'd be like, so 3 or 4 eggs. There was never an option for 1 to 2. How many grapefruits? How many grapefruits? How many? So for me, it was always normal to just have large amounts of fruit, food, whatever it was. And culturally, you never left food on your plate. Hungry or not. So pushing past biofeedback in terms of full and when to stop, I've just grown up always pushing through. And that's also a sports thing too. When things hurt, you don't stop. Yeah. When you're tired, you don't stop. So that's what has athletically really helped me, but in terms of food, really screwed me over. So I'm fighting to get those feelings back too. But the other thing is this sounds so weird, but so what I do is I'll grab a spaghetti squash, cut it in half. I won't get the big one because that's aggressive. Just get a small one. Cut it in half. Cook it up and just sit and pound the entire thing. That sounds like you're what, a spaghetti squash? Throw your hot sauce on there, throw your spaghetti sauce on there, whatever you want, and just pound the entire thing until your stomach is so full. And then you're like, no, it's just not the same as my giant bowl of real pasta or whatever. It's you just said that expanded stomach feeling. It's that same thing, but calorically, you're eating a quarter of what you would have. And then the cool thing is, afterwards, you don't feel guilty about it. You're like, it's a vegetable.
A big thing, and I just read something to Jericho earlier. Yeah, what I read to Jericho earlier was about admitting complete defeat, admitting entire powerlessness and humiliation, right? The fitness thing, just like any drastic life change, won't happen until you're absolutely ready for it to fucking happen. So she has the effort, she puts the effort in to what she does because she's ready. I put the effort in to sobriety, to like eating, to all that stuff because I was ready. So typically people don't change until they're in enough pain, right? So once people get sick, some people never get sick of it. That's the sad part. In this country, almost half the population is clinically obese, right? Mm-hmm. So we already talked about how that's people, you see other people doing it, it's kind of, they're like, oh, I see that guy, he's overweight, it's fine for me to be. But with the people who have success in like changing their body composition are people who are sick and fucking tired of looking and feeling a certain way. For me, I know I'll feel like shit if when I take my clothes off and I'm not super happy with it, I don't like that feeling. So for me, I'm willing to put effort into certain things. I don't like how I feel when I eat like shit. I don't like how, like my joints feel. I don't like how my breathing is. I don't like the fogginess in my brain, cognitively. So that pain propels me to eat better during the week. And then I'll eat like shit and I'll feel like shit. And then by Sunday, I'm like, I'm ready to not feel like shit.
It doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone. The key thing that does work for people, though, and my point in saying that was finding the pain. When are you done? When are you going to be done not liking what you look like? When are you going to be done not feeling good? And if you never are done, you'll constantly be fighting the temptation to gain the weight back. It's the same thing with an alcoholic who keeps relapsing. You're not fucking done. Go get done, and when you're finished, it's easy to move forward. When you, like for me with food, I really don't like the way I feel when I'm not taking care of myself. I'm easily able to do the right thing because it doesn't feel good. So with all my clients, sometimes what ends up happening is that they train with me for a month. I'm a tough train for the average person. I don't train high-level athletes. I train average people. I'm a tough train, and they typically find that they're not ready. They find that they're not ready. And I don't kill anybody. I don't break anyone. If you can only train with me for 30 minutes, we're going to get 30 minutes. We adjust it. But people are, they think they're ready to do what it takes to change their body, and they're not done.
But I want to add something in terms of food. I really dislike when we say like, okay, and again, just being clear. Not being ready. So I don't want them to think that they have to be ready to hop on a meal plan and eat tilapia, asparagus, and a couple almonds and salads. Like people ask me salads all the time. I'm like, I don't know the last time I ate a salad in my meal prep, to be completely honest. That's rabbit food. They're great, sure, but like that's not what you need to do. So I think because of that lack of awareness, that lack of knowledge in terms of what to eat, they fear having to get on that plan. So I always say with all this, you have to find something that works for you.
For sure.
It's not
There's no plan.
cookie cutter.
There's no, I hate that shit. I hate, and that's what I love about what you post is because it's not, get fit.
I just don't want to help that person. If you want to get ready in 6 weeks.
That's not this. Then what exactly? That's what I say. What I do is not for you. What I do is not for you.
I want a long-term life.
Yeah.
Life.
So when I tell people they're not ready, I'm not saying to follow a meal plan. I'm not even saying to follow a meal plan. At least look into it. Yeah. Just look into it. Just start inquiring about what a serving of rice should be. What a serving. You know what I mean? Just inquire.
Like genuinely celebrating the smallest of victories. So I hate when people say, on January 1st, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start eating clean. I'm going to start meal prepping. I'm going to start. Hold on. You wouldn't walk into a gym and load up a bar with 300 pounds and expect to squat at your first day. Like, so my biggest tip is making a small little goal, crushing it, and then looking back and feeling so good that you just crushed that goal, and then making a bigger goal and a bigger goal, so on and so forth.
That's an esteemable act. That's saying that's telling yourself, okay, I'm affirming yourself, I'm proud of myself, and now it's easy to move forward. And reframing it from that shaming yourself when you take your clothes off and you're like, fuck, you're fat, or the negative self-talk that some of us have, some of us don't have. So in reframing it, now saying, oh, I have this small victory, pat on the back. You're patting yourself on the back. Now you're reframing something. Now you're on the way. Now you're actually on the way to having a real sustainable change. But it's a lot of reframing and moving away from that diet culture. I don't want to be on a diet either.
Right.
It sucks. And I don't do shows. This is not taking away from competitors who do shows.
Sure.
Diet your life away. That's their passion. That's what they do. And I respect it. I can't do it. That's why I respect it. Anybody who does some shit can't even fathom. I get it.
I enjoy dieting for shows because you truly get to like just see your body in a way that no casual regular lifestyle could ever achieve. But it takes a very strong mind to be able to go into a prep, finish a prep, and come out of a prep healthy. Mentally healthy. That's the biggest part. So people that do that, and same, I do it here and there. I've done 4 shows so far, but I'm in my off season right now, focusing on life, and then I will diet down again. But I'm in a totally different mental space than when I started, I guess, the first time and went into my first off season and feeling restricted, this and that. So I like I said, I don't know when we're going to talk about the book, but
we're about to talk about it right now.
You want to talk about it? Okay.
We're about to go into it
Go
right
ahead.
now.
Go ahead.
No, so question. So now we see how you got into how your journey on this fitness thing and on this nutrition thing. So what brought you to forming this ebook? How did that come together? And tell people the fucking process you went through to gather this information, because that's some impressive shit.
Yeah, so as I was going through my first off season, as an engineer, I like to overthink and overanalyze just about everything. So I was reading books, I was making notes, and I kind of just had in my Dropbox all these like Word files with a bunch of typed notes. And people would ask me on my Instagram after I started doing the food reviews and stuff, do you do meal plans? Do you do this? Well, what do you recommend? I just got so many questions. So I literally got so sick of just writing the same thing over and over again, where I was like, I'm going to put this in a book. Let's do this. It'll be like my way, my struggle, go through my journey, and then kind of give just general guidelines to outsmarting your brain. And it's called Outsmarting Your Brain with Nutrition Basics. So I'm not here to tell you what to do, just like I was telling you with the Nika's Approved reviews. That's what I do every single day. It's fun to put things in perspective for people and let them pick on their own. And then I didn't even get to define what Nika's Approved is. So it's if I approve something, it means that it has a high enough return on its caloric investment, let's say. So whatever that investment may be. So it's not going to be just a perfect item with no artificial flavors, colors. I'm realistic. So I'm not going to be that food Nazi that, there's one dye in it, it's over, not going to have it. The dose matters for all of that. So I wanted to clarify. That's what makes me different, because I really hate when someone's like, oh my God, it has that ingredient, you're going to have cancer. It's like, all right, Susan. All right, Susan.
You're a fucking barber, Susan.
That's not realistic. So
Susan also has a made-up gluten allergy.
It's definitely Susan.
Definitely. It's always a
Sue or a Carol.
Sorry to all Carols and Susans. No disrespect. But you get what I'm saying. So that's what makes me different. I'm not going to just read off this and tell you you're going to have a mutated, toe in 30 days if you drink this. So again, I just like putting it all out there saying, hey, this is better than this. So the book. So like I said, I give you my whole story with how I emotionally ate. I have actually a little note of like my last food binge, quote unquote, everything I ate. I logged into my MyFitnessPal. I said I was going to do all this extra cardio, which is wrong. Right afterwards, there's no punishment. I talk about sitting in your own suck. And that means like embracing that you just did that and then making a plan moving forward, whether there's small goals, And then I talk about serving sizes, and I don't have a meal plan in there, but I tell you how to create just balanced meals. So my target audience is not anyone that wants to get ready for a wedding in 30 days or the 6, it's just Jill, aisle 9, that wants to buy a healthy, food snack or something for their kid, and they're looking at the Chewy bar and it says great source of calcium, and you're like, what? Come on. Are we... Yeah. So
people just don't know.
They don't know.
And that's what you're doing is so important.
That's what I did.
Because people don't know. And
diet foods, Nutrisystem, whatever. It's like I have a couple of those in the book, and I'm like, okay, so funny. So I couldn't use the name of the bars, but I guess I could talk about it here. So in my book, it says stability bar because a balance bar. If you look at the first 5 ingredients of a balance bar, it's like there's like 5 things you can't pronounce, and the 4th thing is like a protein or something. You're like, what part of this is nutrition? I talk about bars. I approve bars. There's certain bars that, when life happens, sure, that I use them as treats, to be honest, once or twice a week, but nothing beats whole foods. And being an engineer, I make my money through engineering. I don't need to push a protein powder down someone's throat for the commission. Like if I'm putting my name behind a protein, a brand, or anything, it's because I genuinely use it on a regular basis. Watch my stories because I'll actually show you that I'm using it. I'm not just, like I said, getting paid to put it on there. And I just want to be a source of authentic, credible knowledge, like I said, that someone can come to and hopefully get something out of, and look to your left and look to your right and tell someone else about. Because like I said, my biggest goal is just to reach more people. If I've struggled through anything in my life, I want to make sure that someone else doesn't struggle through the same thing. So for that, it's food, it's nutrition, and my ebook just basically gives how to create that balanced meal, how to read a nutrition label, some grocery lists from Costco, Sprouts, perfect. I try to make things as easy as possible. Yeah, practical.
And that's where, when people are ready, the information is there.
Yep.
And I've already sent people to that link. My own people, because I can tell.
It's a textbook too, by the way. So there's so many people. I explain what macros are, but I always say, some core principles. I say don't weigh yourself, to be completely honest. Yeah. I say measure yourself, take photos. There's no forbidden foods. I teach you how to, I call them craving busters, how to handle a craving. If you want pizza, if you want chocolate, then just do this. It's less calorically of a plunge, you just get over it and then continue moving forward. And then another thing is that I think I'm going to call it a book, genuine like textbook, that it adds is how to life. Most diets can tell you what to do for meals 1 through 6, but if you're going to Jenny's wedding, a kid's, birthday party, what do you do? Do you take the black container? No, because you're not going to step on stage as a bodybuilder. Reasonable. Let me show you how to life. You can make good decisions at an Italian restaurant, at a Subway, so I go through all these different types of food, and I say, when you're going to these restaurants, this is what I would order. This is how I would order. I talk about customizing your food all the time when I go out. People are so scared to do that. It's like there's a guy back there with food and he's making it. I don't care what's on this piece of paper. Make it how I want it. And then we'll be like, I don't want to be that person. You know what? I always say at the end of it, I say, I want the cook's name. I want the server's name. I will write you the Yelp review of a century for taking care of me. And as soon as you tell them that, oh my God, they go out of their way and you get the food you wanted. It's clean. Now, is it going to be perfect every time? Probably not.
And
that's okay.
The point is, you can eat at any restaurant. You could eat at Denny's tonight
on repeat
and get anything you want and eat healthy. Just inquiring and knowing the information. And that's what's great about what you're doing is you're providing the basic information.
That's the goal.
It's so important. We appreciate you.
That's the goal. I appreciate it. Hope I can reach more people. That's the goal.
So we'll also put a link of that in the bio. Cool. Of this. Do you have anything else you want to fucking promote? We're gonna get you out of here because you said you need to bounce.
I appreciate it. No, that's it. If you have any Neeks approved reviews you'd like to be done, DM me. I get back to all my DMs. I'm not that cool yet. One day when I can't get back to all my DMs, I'll let you know. That's important, man. Yeah, no, like I said, every single person that DMs me with a question, with anything, people that are struggling with weight. I had someone contact me today about body image, like how do you do it in your off season, this and that. Like I know you're not feeling too comfortable, as a bodybuilder. What do you do? And I was like, to be honest, like continuing to look back and celebrate what I can do now that I couldn't do when I'm dieting. Like I said, I used to diet through most of Thanksgiving and Christmas for all my shows, and I'm like, I get, I am, probably 5%, 6% more body fat, but I'm able to enjoy a meal with family. I'm able to go out on a date. I can have a glass of wine if I would like. There's so many different things. I can travel without, packing all my meals. And like I said, I think everyone goes through different stages of their lives in terms of fitness and weight loss and all of that. And until you truly can just wing it and not feel restricted, that's the ultimate goal. So like I said, you're winging it, you're killing it. There's no stress. There's no restriction. If you want the frozen yogurt, you're going to have the frozen yogurt, and you're not going to feel like you're this scared little,
take the shame away from it.
Yeah.
Get to a space where where you don't feel shameful about eating. And that's really a tough part, because there's so much, for some people, there's such baggage around food.
Right.
So much baggage around food.
But I like what you said about figuring out the reason why you're acting that way.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to fix it with all these external things. But I do want to give hope to, there is I don't want to say meal plan, but there is a meal style, an eating style
that works for you,
that will work for you, that you'll consistently be able to do to reach whatever goal it is. So if you like egg whites in the morning, do egg whites. But I tell people, I'm like, why do people pay people for meal plans that they think they're going to stick to forever if they're not the ones creating it? So I'm actually in the works right now. I'm trying to create actually an app in the meantime. So I'm going to try to help people with that, because I want them to design it themselves. Yeah. So that literally just scraping the surface of that, trying to figure all that out. But yeah, contact me if you have any questions, and I'd love to help.
That's really awesome. Lastly, before you go, do you have any more questions, Benny?
No.
Really quick, I want you to talk about working with Chris and Sarah, because I'm bringing them up because I want to get them on here, because these are, bodybuilding is I've had so many judgments on it, but there's people who I see do it who really do it ethically and with a passion and a non-judgment. And I want you to just, give them a shout out and let them know, how did they help you shape this image? How did they help you shape that image?
Okay. So, Team Titan is my bodybuilding team, and head coaches are Chris Ford, Sarah Ford. Truly, like I said, I overanalyze just about everything I do. So I made sure to look into a bunch of coaches and figure out their meal plans and make the decision based on all that information. Why I chose Chris and Sarah. Chris values your health first over anything. He's not trying to get you just on stage to say he put you on stage. He won't put you on stage if you're not ready. He also won't blow smoke up your, if you're not ready, he's going to tell you he's not ready. I respect all of that.
Yeah.
I don't need, I don't need anyone to just tell me, oh, you're doing great. No. If I'm not doing great.
Money coming in.
Right. And they're far from that. And that means so much to me. Sarah, she trained me my first 6 months as my personal trainer, and now as more of a best friend, sister, now training partner. Incredible athlete herself, being on the Olympia stage. I mean, what they both accomplished together is incredible. I would really advise anyone when they're looking into a bodybuilding coach to have someone that values your health. There's a lot of hormone manipulation in terms of when a female is dieted down to sub 10% body fat, hormones start to go, whack. And if you don't have a coach saying, hey, go see a doctor or this or that, you're going to end up in a way worse situation, all just to have that one stage photo and to question why. So, I really, really value both of them in my life. Like I said, Chris too, in his emails, I've actually posted a couple of them into my, some of the things he said, like I said, because that dysmorphia, I don't know how he steps away and doesn't fall into this trap. I love that. And maybe it's a guy thing, because girls. No,
I fall into it. I think
we struggle.
I think he is both of them are very unique in their approach and the way they can compartmentalize this sport. I think definitely. I think I don't know.
The way he talks me through some of the times where it's funny, every check and I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking this, that. I'm so critical of myself. And sometimes he's like, he just has the right things to say at the right times. And I'm like, I remember that one thing he said, I looked at him and I was just like, you are going to be one amazing father one day. Yeah. Like, based on the words you just oh my God, he is, like I said, comforting is an understatement. But he's not, like I said, not in a way where he's going to blow smoke up you and tell you you're looking great. It's like, he'll tell you if you're screwing up. And for me, I need that. Every once in a while, I'd like my hand to be held and just tell me everything's gonna be okay. But it's like, I always perform better when I'm being pushed to my max. So if I need to be, yelled at, he's never yelled, but
I've heard him talk tough though.
That's what I mean.
Talk stern, and that's good too.
Honest,
that's good too.
Honest truth, the heart to hearts we've had up at the gym. It's been an amazing journey with Team Titan, year round with him, off season, in season.
I want people to know that even myself, I have a coach. People, Nika has a coach. We all, iron sharpens iron, they say, and it's, I don't want to just know my own shit. I want to know what this man knows and what that person knows. And I wanted you just to share how they shaped you. So I appreciate you.
And speaking of that, I know how you said you're nutrition, but you come to me for some things. That's one more thing I love about Chris. Any question I ever have about what he's doing, why he's choosing these carbs, why he's doing this, why we're supplementing with this when carbs are low, this and that, he always has an answer. And he loves to kind of nerd out about that. So again, if you ever ask a coach a question and they can't answer it or they don't want to, they brush it under the rug, that's a problem. So I really appreciate Chris getting into the nerdy stuff as well with me.
Awesome. So is there a website to plug your book, or is it just all Instagram?
There is. It's actually live now. So neeks93.com is up, running, and my ebook is there. And then as well, the link is also in my bio of my Instagram at Neeks93, NEEKS 93.
So give her a follow. She's the dopest.
Okay,
all right, we out.
We out of here.
Think
for having me.
for yourself and question authority.
Family, the only people I got love for, but half my fam see in trouble from the drug war. Pain, that's what the drug's for. Hood politic and president is what I run for. Cold roads, ice picks at the front door. You think you run these streets, brother, we run more. Track stars, trap stars, third eye open, abusing drugs, bumping Black Star. We all characters, but never actors. I'm seeing multiples and you don't know your factors. Deadbolt the front, see me creeping through the back door. Atlas on kitty, can't tell if my back's sore. The globe's heavy, my flow steady. Spit shine, the crown is going down, get my robes ready. The pot clear my head, no Nettie. Kissing Lucy turns my legs to spaghetti, still I walk it off. Yeah, so keep your eyes on the ones that's been talking soft.
To think for yourself and question authority.
I'm sick of Times Square, 5% is calling me cracker. I'm like, brother, listen, your whole thinking is backwards. This world's got G's, but there's plenty actors. So think before you judge, cause there's many factors. We in a city where the slugs don't care what color your flesh is. Rappers get smart, masses miss the message. Brothers carry on, stacking bricks like it's Tetris. Fuck it, gotta do what you gotta to get breakfast. Nah, I mean, my people on the same scheme. So you see, my brother, we on the same team. North Beast, Queens, Marines, we got the same dream. Taught by them killer bees, in it for the cream, and that's how it is, wouldn't believe it, this is how we live. We trick D's, stack peas, steam trees, blocks hotter than a few 100 degrees, but that's how it is. Still, somehow we thrive. Immortal warrior, never greeting my demise. And the young ones are hungry, we see it in their eyes. When them hands get bitten in Britain, don't be surprised.
To think for yourself and question authority.
Ever since my papa passed on, I've been feeling blue. But slowing down ain't something that I'm finna do. I could sit around sulking my misery, or stand tall till we're all really living free. Could it be? Should it be? Would it be? You're asking things that you shouldn't be. There's no time to waste. I'ma be honest, there's no time for hate. But fuck, I got a lot of it. I try to love, try to rise above it. They say that love heals all, I'm thinking really does it. Feeling like really fuck it, no point. Trying to get high but got no joint, no joint, no joint. People are tired but got no bed. Hungry, got no bread. Kids too, dying in the street, bullets through head. Get what you deserve, shit, who said, who said, who said? Because who deserves that? Who deserves nice things? Who deserves crap? Who deserves shooting dope? Who deserves crack? It's real every day, everywhere in the map. But I'ma be here, cause this is where my family's at. Yeah, I'ma be here, cause this is where my family's at.